Welcome back, everyone. We're going to be covering the production report using the FIFO method in this lesson. Let me take a quick shot. Oh, so close. All right. Well, we read the question last time. We went through it. One thing I need to correct from last time is that I said the physical unit schedule, and I've changed this to physical flow schedule. And this first step is not going to change whether we use the average or the weighted average or the FIFO method. So let's go ahead and fill out our physical flow schedule just to kind of remind us. So beginning work in process, the amount of inventory is 100,000 kilograms. The units started is going to be, well, we don't have that, so we're going to leave that blank for now. The units completed will be 370,000 kilograms, and the ending work in process is 50,000 kilograms. And then once again, we're finding the sum of both of these. And the units that we should be accounting for in our process for this production report will be 420,000 kilograms of unit. So that's how much we should have started with. And we're just doing a quick reconciliation. So the units started is going to be 320,000. As you can see, there's no difference using the weighted average or the FIFO method. Now, when we get to step 2, calculating the equivalent units is going to change. So what we're going to see is we're going to start off with units completed. But for the FIFO method, we're not looking, okay, let me rephrase this. So for the weighted average method, we're taking all of the beginning work in process and then the units that we've started, and we're just adding them all together to find the units started, or to find the units completed. Now, for FIFO, we don't want to include the units that are in our beginning work in process because that's from a prior period. And we know that with FIFO, the first inventory in is the first inventory out. So we're completely discounting the stuff that we've already worked on. So when we look at units completed, we're going to look at this 370,000 kilogram figure, but we're going to subtract the beginning work in process. So I'm going to say 370,000 because I just want you to take the number from units completed, and I'm going to subtract beginning work in process. And I'm going to put a little subtraction sign there. And that's going to be 100,000. And then I'm going to add ending work in process, and that is going to be, well, what's ending work in process? Ending work in process is 50,000 and it's 100% complete, so that is 50,000. And then when we go through our equivalent units, it's going to be 370,000 subtract the BWIP because we don't want to include inventory from a prior period, and then we're going to add our inventory that we're ending with in our process. So 320,000 is going to be our equivalent units for direct materials. Units completed, once again, it's going to just be 370,000 because if we've completed a unit, it's fully complete with respect to direct materials and conversion costs. Now, beginning work in process, let's go up here. It says 100% complete with respect to direct materials, but only 40% complete with respect to conversion costs. So 40% of 100,000 is going to be 40,000. And then ending work in process is going to be 60% of 50,000 kilograms. So we're going to take 60% of 50,000, that is 30,000. And we're going to find the sum of this, and we're going to take the 370,000. Once again, we're going to subtract the beginning work in process. and then we're going to add the ending work in process. So the equivalent units, I'm just going to create a border around this. For direct materials are 320,000, and for conversion costs it's going to be 360,000. Now, step 3, for the weighted average method, we included costs in beginning work in process because we just added all the costs from BWIP, all the costs that we started, and then we just divided by our equivalent units to get the cost per equivalent unit. But we haven't included any stuff from BWIP. So we're not going to include the costs if we're not going to include the inventory in our calculation for equivalent units. So we're just going to completely get rid of that. And costs added in January, what is that going to be? It's going to just be the same stuff we went over in the last question. So that's 211,000. And for conversion costs, it's going to be 270,000, so that's 370,000. And then we're going to take our equivalent units, which are 320,000 for direct materials, and the equivalent units for conversion costs, which are 360,000, and we're going to find our cost per equivalent unit by dividing our costs by our equivalent units. And we're going to have 66 cents for our cost per equivalent unit for direct materials, and for conversion costs it's going to be, well, let me first change this to a dollar amount. I don't know why it's not saving it as that. Let me just quickly save it as a currency. Alright, and we're going to take the cost, divide it by the equivalent units, and we're going to get $1.02 and 8 pennies. So the total unit cost is going to be, or the total cost per equivalent unit is going to be the 66 cents plus the $1.02 and 8 cents. So $1.69. And I'm just going to create a border around the cost per equivalent unit for direct materials, for conversion costs, and the total cost per equivalent unit, which is $1.69. On to step 4. So step 4 is quite complicated for the FIFO method. So I'm going to break this up into 3 steps. And I'm going to go into Photoshop to better illustrate this. And while I go through this, I'm going to refer to my notes because I want to be completely clear on this explanation and I don't want you to misunderstand anything. So let's go ahead and go into Photoshop. So for the FIFO method, we're trying to figure out the cost of goods transferred out. So all of the costs that have moved from one process to the next. So where can we start with this? Well, we've got our 370,000 of completed units that are transferred out. Now this 370,000 units which are transferred out includes 100,000 of units in beginning work in process. And part of those 100,000 units were completed last month. So if we were to go back to our Excel spreadsheet, you'll see that on January 1st, 100% of direct materials were already complete, while 40% were complete with respect to conversion costs. So quite a bit of the beginning work in process was complete in the prior month. So if we were to include those 100,000 units, we would be overstating our cost of goods transferred out. So I'm going to subtract the 100,000 and we're going to be left with 270,000 units. And we're going to multiply this by the cost per equivalent unit, which is $1.69. And the total of that is going to be 456,300. And while we go through this, we're actually going to slowly try to figure out the cost of goods transferred out for some of those BWIP units that we have completed in January. We just don't want to include the cost from prior periods because FIFO does not want us to include the costs from prior periods. So this is step 1, and that's our value. And I'm just going to write this little text blurb so that it summarizes it. This is the cost of units transferred out excluding BWIP units. Moving on. So if we are to look at how many units in BWIP have we worked on this month, we know that 100% of direct materials have been finished in the prior period, and that 40% have been finished in the prior period as well. So we need to find 60% of that cost. So we're going to have our BWIP conversion costs, and this magenta circle is going to represent 100% of the conversion costs in our BWIP account, and 40% of the conversion costs worked on are in December, while 60% of the conversion costs worked on it were in January. So we're going to, for step 2, we're going to take 100,000 in our BWIP, and we're going to multiply that by 60% because those are the units that we're completing in January. So that's 60,000 units, and we're going to multiply that by the cost per equivalent unit for conversion costs. So that's $1.02 of a cent, and that's going to yield 61,680. And I'm just going to post this second text blurb, which is the cost of beginning work in process units worked on in January. So that's step 2. Finally, step 3. Going to just scroll down a bit. Step 3, since we're transferring out, or since we're trying to find the cost of goods transferred out, we've got this balance in beginning work in process, which is 20,000, 10,000, and 30,000. So in total, it's 60,000. So when we're transferring out these goods, because 100,000 of the kilograms of the total 370,000, which were started and completed, are going to be transferred out to the next process. So we're going to take the total balance of that BWIP account, and it's going to be transferred out, and it's going to be included in our cost of goods transferred out. So those are your 3 costs. And I actually forgot to add my little text blurb for the third one, which is transferring out the BWIP cost balance. So once we have those 3 costs, we're going to know that the total cost of goods transferred out is going to be 577,980. And just to kind of look back in hindsight, if we were to take the 370,000 kilogram units and multiply that by the cost per equivalent unit, we would get, well, 370,000 times 1.69 would be 625,300. And you can clearly see that this is an overstatement of, what is that, like 23,000 and 25, that's like $48,000. So that would be completely wrong. So this is why we needed to take those 3 steps. Let's go back into Excel, transfer these amounts. So cost of goods transferred out is going to be 456,300. then it's going to be 61,680, and step 3 is going to be the balance from our BWIP transferred out. Now onto EWIP. EWIP, pretty easy. We're just going to take the direct materials in our EWIP account, so that's 50,000, and we're going to multiply the 50,000 by our cost per equivalent unit for direct materials, and we're going to take our ending work in process for conversion costs and multiply that by the cost per equivalent unit for conversion costs, and that's going to be 30,833. So for our final cost reconciliation, let's take the sum of all of these, 577,980. So this is going to be 577,980, and EWIP is going to be the sum of these two amounts, 63,802. And if we find the sum of both of these, it's going to be 641,782. And some of the difference, like this should be 641,000, but because we rounded the cost per equivalent unit, it's off by 782. So that's just a rounding error. And then the cost to account for, it always has to reconcile. Just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to say that it's 641,000. And this is going to be 641,000 as well, because those always have to reconcile. Our BWIP at the beginning was 60,000, and then the costs added during January is just going to be the difference of 641 and 60. So that's our final cost reconciliation. And I've got here at the bottom just a quick comparison between the weighted average method and the FIFO method. So you can see that the physical flow, the units completed and transferred, is the same for both the weighted average and the FIFO method. Equivalent units is different because FIFO doesn't include the beginning work in process units. The cost per equivalent unit are also different because we're not including the beginning costs, the beginning work in process costs for the FIFO method. And based off of all of that, our cost of goods transferred out have changed for both the weighted average and FIFO method, and same for the EWIP. So it's still pretty similar, and you can see that the FIFO method is extremely complex. So you might be asking yourself, why the hell would I use FIFO? And in reality, not many companies use FIFO. In one journal I was actually reading, they surveyed 20 different companies, and zero used FIFO. Everyone either used weighted average or a hybrid system. Why do we need to know the FIFO method? That is beyond me, but it is something that's necessary for you to study for your CPA exam. Hopefully it will be phased out. I definitely support it. And I'll see you guys, I guess, in the next tutorial, because we're finished with the production report for the FIFO method.